Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there. Welcome to New Life Live. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer. Sheri, how are you?
I'm good. Good to be here with you today.
Well, I'm glad you're here too, because here we are, the end of our first full week in the new year, and this is a day of celebration. And what we're celebrating are all of the people who have already broken their New Year's resolutions. And here's why it's something to celebrate. Because you've discovered a limitation. You've discovered that trying hard or having a great goal in mind isn't enough. You need something in addition to whatever it is that you did. So it's not failure, it's just you did a little research. Now the question is, can you humble yourself right now and reach out and get whatever additional help that you need? For some people, it's a mentor, it's a coach, therapist, it's a pastor, it's a support group, all sorts of some people, it's I got to go into treatment if I'm ever going to take care of this. And for some folks, Sheri, it's okay, I've had counseling, but now I really need to get a special kind of counseling, and that is I need to deal with the trauma that I went through. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's so fun that you had mentioned that, right? Sometimes the something is actually a someone. Mm-hmm. You know, we need someone to help walk with us through deeper healing or a deeper level of accountability. It's hard, Steve, to change behaviors, addictions, compulsions, codependency, whatever it is that you eating, right? Eating too much.
Yeah.
And we have this illusion in our mind, and I think it's actually a bit of fantasy, that we can just snap our fingers and with the calendar change that we can also change. And many of us find that we need more. And so getting deeper healing, getting into your deeper treatment. And some of us, you and I were on together with Tana Amon recently, her memoir about her book is The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child. And on that call, there's so many of us that have these wounds that actually started when we were little, at 2, 3, 4, 6, that are causing us to eat compulsively, that are causing us to sexually act out, that are causing us to try to control our world. And they don't bring us, those behaviors don't bring us relief on the inside. They actually don't bring us peace. So maybe this is your year that you're going to step into deeper peace by actually taking a step into deeper healing.
I hope that it is. You know, years ago, after many years of struggling, I finally got help, and I needed that help, and it was transformational help. And so when the opportunity came to start New Life, I wanted to do something where other people could not just feel better for a while or feel shame forever, but could truly transform their lives. 2021 could be a transformation year for you, but it won't be by trying harder, trying all the same things, beating yourself up. And if you're living in shame, God went to a lot of trouble through his son Jesus, so you wouldn't have to ever experience that shame again. My life would be riddled with shame if I didn't believe that Christ dying on the cross freed me from my sin. Now, when I accept that, does everything get fixed in my life? Do I become a mature, wise? No. There's work to be done. But I think the beginning is letting Jesus be the answer to all that shame from the past. Then we go forward free. We'll be back after this.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or or I had to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every man's battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, January 9th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every man's battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer. Really glad that you're with us here today. And I want to tell you, one of the most valuable things that you could do this entire year is to journal. And we've got a New Life journal that helps you know what to journal. It guides you. It directs you. It is very, very healing. It's not just some blank pages. Call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I'll send you one with a gift of any amount. But right now I'm going to go to the phones. And I'm going to talk with Kathy. She's calling from Quakertown, Pennsylvania. WBYN is the station. Kathy, you're on with Dr. Sheri Keffer and Steve Arterburn here. How are you today? What's going on?
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful for it. I am feeling like an abandoned child. My husband is involved with another woman, but my question is, how do I get him to confess?
And what do you think would come from him confessing? I mean, what if he said, okay, so I'm doing this. Don't you think there's something more that needs to be done than just him admitting the truth?
Definitely. The only thing I thought of so far was to go to Every Man's Battle.
Yes, but I want Sheri to talk to you about you and how we can really do the most possible in this particular situation, starting with you, and no matter what he does. Really, I think that's what we have to do. We honor you no matter what he does. Sheri?
How did you find out, Kathy? I'm so heartbroken for you. How did you find out that he's seeing another woman?
Long hours at work and going places without explanation, and I have some other sources that I don't want to go into.
Which is okay. Yeah, that's all that truth-telling that you've taken in order to try to explain these behaviors. Does anybody else know, Kathy, or not? Do you have any support? Are you seeing a counselor?
I believe my son knows. He lives with us. He's 40 and is an extreme help and support for me.
Okay. So guess what, my dear? I'm going to be a little selfish with you because I care about you. And I know that you're in excruciating pain. The fact that you know something that your husband isn't owning yet. And it takes tremendous strength for that confrontation to happen. And a lot of times, you know how Steve opened the show today and he talked about how we make New Year's resolutions, and then, a few days later we realize for whatever reason we didn't follow through on that something. And I said sometimes it's a someone. And right now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Kathy, you need a someone to help you put together a plan to confront your husband. It takes incredible core strength because there's a lot of denial. As soon as we share, he might own it, but he might say, I don't know what you're talking about. But you know that you have the facts. But your son cannot be your only ally. He's your son. And I'm grateful that you're not alone But you do need to be with someone who can help you open the door to some conversations around what your husband's doing. It's infidelity. It's an affair. And you're right. It needs to stop. So how is it that, so I get what you want. You want him to confess. But I want to make sure that when you give him the opportunity to confess, that you're actually supported by some other women and a therapist that can hold you up no matter what he says.
A quick question. Is he still living at home with you, Kathy?
Yes.
I think that's a huge problem, and I wouldn't want to be in the house with somebody that was betraying me and then lying about the betrayal. But it seems like maybe you don't think you have many options here. Is that right?
I really don't know right now. My thoughts are pretty cloudy.
Yeah, and sweetheart, that is so normal. Do you know when I found out about Connor's acting out, my brain was like mush. And that's why I really want you to be with a counselor. Is there a reason? And let me tell you, is there a reason you haven't reached out for help? I love that you called us. To me, that takes tremendous bravery for you to reach out. Is there a reason you haven't seen a counselor once you found this information out? You're not in trouble with me. You know why I'm asking you, my dear? Is because there is so much shame. There's so much shame around this. They're acting out. He's betraying you. Yet when they do that, we take on their shame. We feel like, I don't know, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I did something. Maybe I wasn't pretty enough. Maybe I wasn't nice enough, kind enough, sexual enough. Whatever that is, that shame actually is trying to keep you from getting the care and support that you need.
Kathy, when I found out that when I found out that I was being betrayed, I had proof, and I said to the person, "This is what you're doing, and we need to deal with that." And the person said, "Well, it's not true." And I said, "So you would rather me believe that I'm the problem, that I'm paranoid or something like that I have it all wrong. In fact, maybe you think I should go into a mental institution because I think something's happening that isn't happening." And that person said, "Yes, that's right." So I'm just pointing out that when a person is involved in an immoral act of betrayal, getting them to admit reality, it's not the goal. The goal is you to take your life back no matter what he does. You go get help. You get in a support group. You start reading books. You do whatever it takes. And then he'll respond to that. He'll see that you're a different person. Right now, he probably doesn't even view you as an equal human being to him. You've ceased to exist as an equal, and so he's just running all over you. And I'm going to send you Sheri's book, Intimate Deception, because I think that is going to help you see some stuff. Then we'll try to get a counselor for you also. Anything else you want to say here before we have to go?
That's okay. Thank you very much for your help.
Oh, I'm so sorry for what you're going through.
So, Kathy,
Sheri?
can I ask you one more question?
Sure, yeah.
Hey, Kathy, I want to ask you one more question. Will you make a call today? Will you stay on the line so we can connect you with one of our counselors? Will you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so proud of you. My heart was beating until you said yes, because we care that much about you. We don't want you to be alone. This experience makes us feel really alone. But stay on the line, and we're going to hook you into someone that's going to help you sort this out.
All right. I'm really glad that you called 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, if we could help you, really that phone call could be the beginning of a whole other life, a transformed life. But you have to make that phone call.
There's so much shame, Steve. I just could hear it in her voice, right? It's like...
I had it.
Yeah, I did too.
So let's go to Marie, San Francisco, great station KFAX. Hi, Marie. How are you today? How could we help you?
Hi, Steve. Hi, Sheri.
Hi.
I'm doing okay. My question today is a follow-up question. I've called before and got advice from you. I've been separated for a year and a half, and I was told by you and Jill, advised to say, to talk, coming back together with the husband and giving some ultimatums of getting marriage counseling and counseling for himself, and possibly EMDR. And then he felt pressured and didn't follow through. And now our divorce papers are going to be final February 27th. So he came back thinking, I would like to come back and rent a room, and I'm thinking about getting counseling. And I did see my sponsor, and wanting to buy a house and save money. So my question to you is that he didn't follow up, and he hasn't. Now he's thinking about it, and here we are. Then he asked, do you believe in getting remarried? So here I am.
Do you believe in what?
Reflecting on all of this.
Do you believe in what?
Huh?
What did he say? Do you believe in?
He asked, do you believe in getting remarried after you get divorced, And I said, I know that people do it, but I just says, I know that we have a lot of work to do. And, he's working 2 jobs. He's been working 2 jobs for most of the marriage, and I always feel like I'm the back burner, and I get the leftovers, and I'm not valued as important.
Yeah. What is the biggest complaint? What has he done that's hurt you the most here?
What has he done that's hurt me the most? He has not come home one night. He said he's telling me several times through the marriage he wants a divorce. He's not the man for me. I don't know him. Those are hurtful words. And then, that I can't get out of my head. And then when we were supposed to go to marriage counseling, we went to your intensive in Irvine. And then with our counselor, our growth goal was to talk about my feelings and emotions, because I'm the avoider and he's the vacillator. So he said he would go to counseling. And then when we got back, he says, you're not going to tell me what to do, and I'm not going. He went to counseling for a few months, and the counselor's changed, and now he needs to get another one. So he never followed up on that.
So here would be my answer to him. I would say to him, I absolutely believe in remarriage only after 2 people, not one, but 2 people have made some major changes in their life. Before I would remarry you, you would say, I need to get some help so that I don't respond to you in the same way I did before, because nothing I did helped. At the same time, you're going to need to get some help. You said things no one should ever say to a spouse that they love. So I don't know if it's appropriate for us to get back together. That's kind of up to us. I'm willing to get the help for me. Are you willing to get the help for you? And here's what I would suggest. You went to the Intimacy in Marriage Intensive. You can get a discount when you go the second time. I'd go back and I'd say, this time we're going to be honest and open. We're going to talk about what we did the last time when we left here, which was not much. And this time we're going to take advantage of the wisdom that other people have heard implemented that's led to transformation. That's what you really want to do. Sheri, anything you want to add here?
So, Marie, I want reality to be your best friend right now. Vacillators often live in fantasy. It's one of the things that we as vacillators do, right? We don't want to have to face how we've caused hurt. So fantasy becomes a friend. When I hear him say, well, let's buy a house to save money, and do you believe in getting remarried? You know what that is? Fantasy. It's not reality. Those things don't build a strong foundation in a relationship. And when I hear somebody who's not coming home telling you he's not the man for you and that you don't know him, you probably don't know him. You probably don't know what he's doing, and he's probably feeling some guilt over what he is doing. But the fact that you're actually almost divorced now, and you're, February 27th is the date, he might be dealing with some regret, but he's looking at trying to get you back with a cheap solution. You require everything for him to come back home and get into deep therapy, or there's not a relationship to build.
And also, a big headline here is when he's talking to you about renting a house or renting a room for you, buying a house together, all of that is a distraction from he needs to get some help. He loves to distract you.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, February 13th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Mylan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer. She is the author of Intimate Deception. What a great book that is. Before we go to the next call, I want to remind you that tomorrow is Every Man's Battle. It's online. You don't have to travel, but boy, is it ever powerful. Some of you, you're living with somebody that needs to go, and they're telling you all sorts of stuff to divert your attention from the fact that they need help. In fact, a lot of their diversion is kind of projecting the problem on you, and you're feeling like, well, if you had been different, this never would have happened. That is not true. Doesn't matter who they would have been with, this problem would have developed and gotten worse, and they probably are angry at you because when they married you, they thought, well, you'd fix it all, and you didn't. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we'll help you help him get the help that he needs. Now, guys, every month, men are calling and saying, okay, it's time. Think about this. Last night, you could have been looking at pornography, and literally tomorrow, it could become the first day clean, free, pure, proud of yourself, establishing integrity. That's the gift of listening on a Friday when tomorrow you can still get in. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We would love to help you or help someone that you love.
Hey,
All
Steve,
right.
could I just suggest for Marie, we send your book, Take Your Life Back, after your last comment about, distractions and the crazy making that goes on.
We'll do that.
All
we'll
right.
send that to her.
Thanks.
All right, let's go over here and talk with Jim. Jim's calling us from Denver, Colorado. KRKS is that station. Hello, Jim. How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing okay. What's going on in your life today?
Well, I sometimes I attend a church, and after the service, they have a food bank,
Mm-hmm.
and the food bank is run by the pastor's wife,
Okay.
and she's being verbally and emotionally abusive to the recipients, and she's also trained a staff, and she's also discipled them to be verbally and emotionally abusive to the recipients.
Well, what do you think? What does she say that's abusive? Give us an example of something abusive that comes out of her mouth.
She yells at them and yells at us and screams. Well, let me see. Well, first, there's a strict. Well, for example, there's a strict time limit. At 1 p.m., it has to be. They don't take any more recipients.
Okay.
So what she was doing is locking the front door and not letting anybody, locking the building. So, but then the problem is people can't exit, and it was reported to the fire department that happened.
Okay. So has anybody done anything about this? Tried to contact somebody in leadership, maybe even the pastor? Anything happen here with regard to this?
Well, the pastor knows about it, but he supports her.
Mm-hmm.
He's an enabler.
Okay.
First, I thought, the pastor's nice, and she's not. Well, the pastor's not nice either because he sees what she's doing. And if anybody brings it up, he defends her. And the most recent one was.
Yeah. Go ahead. The most recent one was what?
Well, for example, most recent example, I had gone there and I got my food box, and there was a jug of dishwashing liquid or bleach or something sitting on the ground by the box. So I picked it up and I said, "Is this anybody's?" And one of the volunteers says, "Yes, it's mine," and snatched it from me.
Okay.
And if she would have said, "Yes, it's mine," I would have just given it to her. And this is how she's trained by and this is how the pastor's wife behaves too.
Okay. So let me ask you this. When you called, what were you hoping that we could do, or how could we help you?
Well, is there any organization I can report them to, or would there be a way that they would be required to get some counseling before they continue their ministry?
Well,
because they're being abusive.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hidden.
Yeah,
because nobody knows about it except because it doesn't happen during the service. It's afterwards, and so only a few people know about it. Everybody's just praising them that they're great, they're great, they're great.
Okay.
Yes, it's good.
Sheri, what do you think?
Hey, Jim, I want you to know you're absolutely right. This is abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that Steve and I, and we here at New Life, believe you. I have a question for you. And you know why I have a question? And I so care about your heart. I'm hearing you. And I hear even that you've been kind of you're dependent on the food box there, right? I mean, you need something that they're offering.
Not really. I'm not.
You don't.
Some people, I go occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really dependent.
So let me ask you.
Hold on. We'll help you
when we
after
get back.
this.
my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Sheri Keffer and your phone calls. And we're talking right now, but kind of a crummy situation. Jim going to a food bank, and the pastor's wife is abusive. Some of the other people there are abusive. Sheri, you were going to talk with him about that.
You know, when I was hearing you speak, Jim, the word picture that came to my mind is Moses, and how Moses was such an advocate of the people of God because they were being treated harshly by the Pharaoh, right? And Moses led an exodus out of Egypt, and God led. Yeah. And it made me wonder about you for a minute in light of your family of origin. It made me wonder, growing up, like if you were if you were like an older brother and there were some harmful things or abuse that happened in your home and you had to tend to and care for either some siblings or maybe even your mom. I don't know, but it just made me wonder because of the injustice. Did you have hurt when you were growing up? Was there some abuse that was happening that was kind of like this, covered up and quiet, that nobody really knew about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? We can get to know you?
Well, one of my parents was emotionally abusive.
Okay.
Emotionally abusive.
I'm so sorry.
I'm one of 5 kids, and 2 boys and 3 girls. But my younger brother is the one who took the brunt of it.
Oh,
and,
got it.
I was kind of in denial about it till now. As adults, we've been talking about it, and he brought up some incidents that were really unjust. And
I love your heart.
I'm like, I've been listening to your show about 15 or 20 years.
Yep.
And so that's why that's how I found out about verbal and emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And I said, oh man, these people have a lot of problems. And somebody called in. I said, wait a minute, that's me.
It is. And you know what I really,
I'm a victim of. I've been a victim of verbal emotional abuse, but I didn't know how to name it
Yep.
And now I see what it is, and now I can stop it.
You can. And that's why I think Moses came to mind. The picture, like your countenance is like Moses, because Moses saw it too. And while it's a beautiful story, Jim, because you've been listening to us here at New Life, and you didn't even know that you were a victim of emotional abuse. And yes, your brother did take the brunt of it. And I love that your family's talking about it. But do you know what's happening at this church right now? It's a replication. It's like it's same and different, right? It's emotional abuse. But the way you've grown, Jim, is that you can see it now. You can see it, and you know that it's wrong and bad. And there's a part of you that wants to call it out. And you weren't able to do that as a little boy, right? With the abuser.
Right.
So let me give you a couple steps. First off, I wish there was a pastor's wife police. I really wish there was somebody that we could call in churches when there is abuse that's happening, because it's not so uncommon. Whether it's the abuse that's coming from the pastor or the wife, but it's clearly the pastor is enabling the wife's harmful and abusive behavior, just like a parent did in your situation. And so if the authorities, right, well, you tried, right? The fire department found out about it. But what happens in communities like this is there are people that are wounded just like you were, and they keep taking the abuse. They haven't woken up yet. And so it might be that you have a side conversation with maybe one or two of the people there. But to be very honest with you, my friend, it may mean that you have to choose to leave that community, that abusive place. And that wouldn't be weak. That wouldn't be wrong. And you may, like Moses, be able to take a few people with you and say, this isn't okay. You may be even able to confront the pastor's wife and to say, it hurts me when you talk to me that way. Now, you know what? Just saying that.
I did.
And what did she say?
I converted both of them.
You did? I'm proud of you.
Well, if you don't like it, too bad. There's nobody else you can tell.
Okay.
Where the buck stops here. I said, no, there are some others. I can report it to the food bank, the one who supplies you, because I believe there's probably some rules of conduct.
Right. So then,
because I said it's no longer free. The food is no longer free if I have to pay with my dignity. I don't have to pay money, but now I have to pay with my dignity.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I love it.
That's a brilliant statement. Why don't you call the food bank people and say, I think you need to be aware of what's happening over here.
Oh, okay.
That the food isn't free anymore here. We're being asked to pay the price of our own personal dignity to receive help from the food bank that has your name on it. Represents you, not just this church. And I would imagine that they would do something to change things, to help things.
Okay.
And when you make that call and it does get back to them, Jim, I want you to have all the courage of Moses, my friend, because they may end up making you out to be the bad guy so that they can look good. And if they do that, I want you to walk. I want you to walk. And you see if you can take some peeps with you.
They've already made me out to be the bad guy, because I've had conversations. He says, well, you're so mean. I said, no, I'm not mean. I just stand up for my rights.
Yep.
That's not being mean.
Yeah.
Well, let me thank you for calling. And again, we think you ought to take it to the next level to the food bank folks. I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back. Hope that you're going to enjoy that. I think that you will. I think it'll help. Let's go to Jason, Orlando, Florida. WTLN is the station. Hi, Jason. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing okay. How could we help? We'd love to help you.
So I've been married almost 23 years, and my wife and I are heavily involved in the church. We're both strong believers, and I was listening to your program with was her name Tana?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my wife has had a not as difficult as Tana, but some pretty heavy trauma in her childhood, and I have seen signs and kind of worked around them for our marriage, and finally enough people encouraged me to confront her on some of these control and critical spirit and other anger issues that were really affecting our family and me. And so I did, and we ended up, going to counseling for a long time, and it just wasn't getting anywhere. And I knew that there was something more than just, I knew it wasn't working, and I could see it. Finally, our counselor, agreed, basically said that she has borderline.
Mm-hmm.
And so
was that the last time when she said that? When she said that, was that the last time that she went to the counselor with you, or not?
Yes.
Okay. So it's unfortunate that it's unfortunate the counselor said that out loud too early, because when a borderline hears that assessment, then that person becomes all bad to them, and they're not going to get help from them anymore. It's very sad. So what's the question for us? What's the question for us?
Well, I can only control myself, right? From what I've read, it has to be some shock to the system. I don't believe in divorce. It's not an option for me, and I'm trying to focus on the eternal perspective, but it's really hard. I don't know how to describe it, and I don't want to try, but
so give us a question that we can talk about at the break. What's the question that we could answer for you today?
So if it's continual fighting against any diagnosis, what do I do? I don't want to threaten anything, but that's, from what I've heard, the only way that they'll even entertain breaking.
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. We'll give you some help right after this. You're listening to New Life Live. Again, I'll say it one more time. Tomorrow, that is where you would get to be part of every man's battle. Online, you could do it. And Intimacy in Marriage coming up February 13th. I hope you'll join.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography. It might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, February 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5033 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. We are talking with Jason, and a therapist said in the counseling session that his wife was borderline personality disorder, and of course that was the last time that they ever had counseling together from that person. Sheri, what are you thinking here? What's something we could help Jason with? What's the best course here?
Yeah. So I keep thinking of Mylon and Kay's book, How We Love. And often,
we'll send that.
Yeah, often when I'm talking with people about borderline,
Yeah, I have that. I've
okay,
read it.
and the vacillator, does that kind of fit? And
Oh yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah.
So this is the deal: is we can't heal what we don't see. And sometimes with high-level borderlines who have got wounds the size of Texas in their heart, they are unwilling to look at their part. In fact, they're actually somewhat delusional. They're really kind of delusional. They don't think that they're the one that is causing the harm. And that's why when your therapist brought it up, it probably was a word of salvation and validation for you. You probably went, okay, somebody's finally called this something, right? And it was a therapist that had been with you for some time, where for her, that was somehow an emotional indictment. It was like the mirror was held up in her face, and the very word made her recoil and run. But this is where I think I feel pain for you, Jason, is your wife is counting on the fact that you don't believe in divorce. And she's counting on the fact that you're not going to, quote unquote, separate from her. She has an attachment wound. An attachment wound is at the core of borderline wounds. But if she feels like she's got you in her hip pocket and you're not going to leave, she'll continue to abuse you. She'll continue to hurt you. She'll continue to not face the harm she's causing. So I'm not saying divorce, but it might mean that coming to an intimacy intensive might be a way that she could hear vacillator and feel like there's a reason for it, a safer reason that she might be able to wrap her arms around. When I work with folks that are borderline, has she read the book or not?
Yeah, we both read it, and we even talked about coming to one of your marriage things, and I just think, especially in a short time span, she will have people get so confused because she's so high functioning.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's crazy.
Well, and then what that does.
Yeah, she would say she's a vacillator.
Okay. It's a starting point. But what happens in the partner, which is you, is because of all the abuse, you become more afraid to bring that in the room because there's consequences to that, right? And so I would definitely think about giving the intimacy intensive a try. And based on whatever happens there, right, there might be some more growth for you because I hear you're committed to the marriage. But in the long run, if she's not willing to face the chronic and ongoing harm, it might mean, my friend, that you do have to separate for a period of time so that she will really get more frightened of losing you and maybe more open to listening to how her vacillatorness hurts you.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think?
What you're saying totally resonates. It totally resonates with me. The problem is we have kids, and the abuse doesn't just stop with me. It's gotten better since she got this diagnosis, but at least with the kids. But
how old are your kiddos?
I think it puts her on notice.
How old are your kiddos?
They are 10 to 18.
Okay, they're young. Do you know Leslie Vernick? She wrote a book called The Emotionally Destructive Marriage. And I got to tell you, Jason, I think there's a lot of men like you out there that they don't have resources for themselves when there is destructive behavior that's happening in your marriage. I want you to get a copy of her book. And I just want to help build your core strength, because it may mean that eventually there needs to be separation, even with your kiddos in her life. But then you're going to say to me, but Sheri, if I am not around these kids at all time, I'm afraid that when we're separated, she's going to take her anger out on them. And I go, I get it, my friend. And so you may choose to stay until the kids are out of the house. But if you're going to stay, then you stay well and you get your support, my friend, because you need it. You need care.
And, you know, we've seen so many of these cases where if you don't do something, the kids aren't angry at her. They're angry at you because you could do something, but you didn't do it. And so they really need you to be open and honest with them at whatever level is appropriate. They need you to confront anything with her that is not healthy. And you just can't let her abuse these kids. And, you know, the children, they get so afraid because they don't know which mom they're coming home to, or they don't know which mom is going to come through the door. It's very insecure. And so guess what? They end up with all sorts of attachment issues that she had when she was younger, and it just repeats itself. You're the one, you're the sane person here that can intervene and make a difference. And so I'm just hoping that you'll do whatever it takes to develop a strategy, protects your kids, and hopefully, you know, your wife would little by little start to do a little work here or there. But you're just going to have to realize that this may not turn out well if you're going to help your children. It may not turn out well, but don't let them just be a victim to whatever she wants to be or whatever she wants to do. So I'm really glad that you called us and hope something was, yeah, we really do. Healing is a choice coming your way. Hold on, we'll get that to you. If you need some help, we've got people everywhere. We really do want to help you. Maybe you're listening to this and you've heard this term borderline and you hate that term because you kind of feel like maybe that's you. Well, that's good news, because a lot of folks that are borderline, they don't have any sense of that at all. They're just really blind to it. There's hope when you can accept some responsibility to do whatever it takes with whatever you have. And we'll link you with the best resource possible if you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. It's just that simple. 1-800-NEW-LIFE is where a gift of any amount will send you a wonderful New Life journal that'll direct your thoughts, and you'll document where you are, the progress you're making, looking deeper. It'll challenge you to look deeper into some things that maybe no one has ever asked you to look at, all through this interactive New Life journal, any amount at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can also ask them about Sheri's book, Intimate Deception. It's a great book. It's helped a lot of people, a lot of insight into betrayal and the trauma that betrayal creates in anybody that gets betrayed. We love you. We want you to get some help. We want things to be better in your life, but we don't know how to call you. You have to call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you, Dr. Sheri Keffer. Thanks to all of you who listen, watch, and pray. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.